this is what can happen when we don't calibrate language. Okay, so with your employees, often I have a feeling you're having conversations with them, and their conversations probably pretty often based on we've talked about here, but they don't share the same language as you. They don't share the same definitions of words. So a lot of times, if our words aren't the same, we'll end up hearing things like, no, that's not what we said, or we didn't talk about that, but you're sure you talked about it, but they're sure you never talked about it. When I find this happening again and again and again, typically it's because me and the other person don't share some definition of a word we're using, right? So I'm going to take you back to one of the greatest coaches I had back in the day. And he blew me over one time. He's like, hey, I'm going to need you to be committed. I'm going to need you to be committed to this program. It's like, yep, I'm all in, man. I'm committed. Okay, well, how would I know you're committed? And I spout a bunch of He's like, okay, so then can you tell me the definition of commitment? And this, like, I will just right now, I can remember the stunned silence on my end of the phone. I can remember where I was. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, like, what's the definition of commitment? You're telling me you can be committed. What is it? What is the definition of commitment? He's like, don't you think we should be on the same page about what commitment means if we're going to make a commitment to one another? I had never had this thought. I'd run like $15 million a year companies and never stopped to think maybe the saying the people on the other side have a different definition of it, and the fact that we have different definitions of a certain word might have a huge impact on not only our communication but our outcomes, our results.